Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Sheila Bila coming to you with a review of Tyler Perry's Sistas season 8, episode 10, Forget Me Not. It is a 2-hour special tonight, so I'm doing 10 by itself, and then I'm reviewing 11 by itself, so it's not going to be combined. Yeah, and it helps me with the views, and it helps me through the algorithm, and it help me with my YouTube check. So please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get this thing going in the comments. It really wasn't too much going on this episode. Yeah, so we should get through this relatively quickly, but let's just go ahead and get into it nevertheless. The episode starts off where it picked up from last it picks up where it starts from last Wednesday. Gary wanders himself or finds himself at Andy's place, and he only has on his hospital gown. And Andy is just trying to figure out, boy, how did you get here? Like, you are disoriented. How did you get out of the hospital? So come to find out, Gary checked himself out because he said it was weird there. He didn't trust anybody. That he's taking all these tests, and this Hudson guy is pretty much creeping him out. And he said he got one of those electric bikes. He got on one of those electric bikes and child, I guess he cycled himself on to Andy's penthouse. And and I'm also assuming that he alerted he alarmed the concierge in Andy's apartment. And she ended up getting a phone call from the concierge, and telling him that, Gary was kind of irate and he didn't want to leave, so that's why he ended up coming up to her penthouse. I called it an apartment, but it's a penthouse. And yeah, and when Andy was asking him the questions, like, so, why didn't you stay? And he's just like, I don't know. She was frustrating him, and kind of just making him feel uneasy. But he knows that he didn't feel comfortable where he was. So that's why he's at Andy's place. And Andy just looking at him like, so you pretty much need to put some clothes on. I got some clothes that that a friend of mine has left over here, and you can put those clothes on. So Andy went and found some clothes to put on Gary. And Gary seems like, child, Gary making me believe that he really don't know what's going on. He really slick is, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, you really look like you are really disoriented. Yeah, he's doing a good job of acting. All right, so back over there at Danny's place of employment, she over there, I guess she's sexting back and forth with Tony. And then you got boy Karen over there. He eavesdropping, right? And so he all in Danny's business. He makes his comments or whatever, and Danny is just trying not to go off. So Danny ends up calling Sabrina on the phone, telling Sabrina, hey, what's that girl at your place of employment, like, that was getting on your nerves, the white girl? Oh, Paige. And so Danny's like, I have a Paige here. And she's just trying to figure out how to handle it. Like, she's breathing hard on the phone, trying to gather her thoughts and her breaths. And yeah, so pretty much Sabrina told her that Maurice is the one that really got rid of Paige and pretty much got Paige together. And Danny is like, well, I need Maurice. Can that person come on over here? Talk about, no, he can't go over there because he just got his job back. He's not about to lose it again. So I'm like, Danny, you just gonna have to learn how to deal with it by yourself. You're gonna have to learn how to do conflict resolution in the right way. Now, you're going through a leadership program. Now, this should teach you how to be a good leader. Okay? Okay, Danny. Now, since you say you earned this, and somebody, one of the commenters said that, she disagreed with my thoughts when it came to Danny. Yes, Danny slept her way to the top. She did not want to be in that program. And for her to, it's reverse privilege. And which I'm not mad at it, but at the same time, we see it for what it is. We see that at this juncture, you really don't deserve to be there. You really got pushed in your spot. So, I just think it is what it is on that standpoint. And boy, Karen does have a case. Because y'all, and then the thing about it is, y'all not even discreet. Like, anyway, I'll get there because there's some more that's going to happen. Okay, so back over at the saloon, Aaron is feeling the baby, and the little twin beans, they're just jumping, right? Little jumping beans, they're jumping. And Zach is like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah. Yeah. And then, Karen's like, oh, the babies are jumping. And Zach says he wants to feel them. And then, Aaron makes his jump. Okay, now, baby daddy number 2 want to come in after baby number 1. And Zach said he hit it first, which he did. So technically, Aaron, you're baby daddy number 2 to whichever little bean is yours. Yeah, so they over there talking how dudes talk, and Karen is like, not in front of the babies. So Zach gets down there to try to feel the babies, and the babies are like on mute. Look around, everybody, you're on mute. That's what them babies, they doing the mute challenge. And Zach feels a type of way. Aaron, he go ahead and leaves. And Karen can see that Zach is frustrated. And he's like, you know what I'm saying? Just to be honest, I do feel some type of way that the babies are jumping and kicking and all this stuff for Aaron. But then when I get down on my knee to touch the little babies, they put their feet down. And she was just like, well, sometimes it happens, they may kick, they may not kick, it is what it is. And so he's also upset because he says, he missed so much with baby Michael. He don't want to miss out on what's going on with the twins, and he just wants to be there, their first walks, they graduate and all this stuff. And Karen is like, you gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure you gonna be there. Zach says, so you gonna let me be there. I'm gonna let you be there. You just gotta be there. That whole conversation. So for the most part, everybody is on the same page. And Karen is also like, yeah, I like Fatima. I want her to be there too. Like, I want all of us to be on the same page when it comes to these babies. And then Karen gets a phone call. And child, when I tell y'all that phone rang so long, I said the girl gonna hang up now, because while the phone was ringing, Zach was reaching down to hug Karen. Karen like, nope, don't hug me, child. I ain't got time to be getting into it with Fatima. I done already been at peace. She calling me right now. I need you to go ahead and get up at this office because I don't need her to know that you over here in the background. And he said, well, Fatima know I'm here, so it ain't no big deal. Okay, well, you need to go ahead and leave. So eventually, Karen ended up answering the phone, and she was like, look, I'm just letting you know Zach was here. And Fatima said, I know Zach was there. Thank you for being honest, but this is not about Zach. This is about Rooster Riches and Miss Marie Willis, and she wants you, and Fatima wants Pam and Karen to come down to the law office so they can discuss the business plans in regards to Rooster Riches on behalf of Miss Marie Willis. And they were like, okay, they'll be down there. All right. And also when she gets off the phone with Fatima, Karen does tell Pam, like, hey, they wanted to see us down there at the law office. And Pam like, what? So she can, because Pam thinking that Fatima is trying to, sabotage them. But little does she know, it ain't Fatima, baby. Fatima on your side. So anyway, we'll get there later. And so back over at Andy's place, child, Gary put the clothes on that looks like those were Jordan's old clothes. And Gary says, yeah, old boy is a lot smaller than me, because these pants are really snug, if you know what I mean. But yeah, he put the clothes on, they're a little tight. And he asked Andy, do he, you got something to eat? Tell me, yeah, I got some General Toast chicken. That's your favorite. Do you still like it? He was like, yeah, that sounds real good right about now. So, mind you, Andy calls Hudson on the phone. Hudson got a whole attitude with Andy for whatever reason, I don't know. Boy, she trying to help you out. So can you listen? And he said, I got a bigger fish to fry, Andy. I don't want to be caught up in your traps. Gary has left the hospital and we're looking for him. I'm trying to tell you that he here at my place. How did you get him there? Nigga, he showed up. I didn't summons him. He came with his gown on, booty all out. Come on. I'll be right there. I do have power to click. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, Hudson. I understand you ain't got to throw up that you got power of attorney every chance you get. Click, hang up, dial tone. I don't want to hear you. Just come get your boy or whatever. So anyway, She gets off the phone with Hudson. Gary is talking about this chicken and all that or whatever stuff. And then Andy gets another phone call. Ding, 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 ding. That's the phone. That's the phone ringing, right? And so who is it? Robin. I'm like, Robin, do you have a tracker on Gary? Do you have a track? Do you have some type of sensor to know that things are going on in Andy's apartment that you don't know about? Is there like a motion sensor in there? Like, how do you know to pop up or to call when something crazy is going on? It's like you just know. It's crazy to me how he just knows. And she like, oh, and he says, what are you doing? Yeah, I have a guest. Oh, so you're having guests. You're supposed to act like everything is normal. You know, the optics, the optics. And she's like, well, yeah, somebody who's there. It's Gary. What is he doing there? So now and he also says that he is downstairs, and he needs to be let up. And matter of fact, he's going to come up. He's not even asking. And so he does come up and he's just looking like, what's going on here? Like, what y'all got going on? Here go Gary. Do I know you? Gary quick to say, do I know you? Well, it's nice to meet you, friend. Anyway, so Andy is like, this is Robin. This is my lawyer. And we have something that we need to discuss, the case. And yeah, we're going to go over here to talk. And they go over to the corner to talk. And Robin instantly thinks that Gary is faking. And he also feels like Andy is starting to develop feelings because Gary is there in Jordan's clothes eating old General Toast chicken Chinese food. So I mean, now he feels like Andy is developing feelings. I'm like, child, that ain't even new food. And them are old clothes. I mean, what? She trying to get him up out her house. She's just as confused as you are. He just showed up. I mean, come on. Yeah. So while they're talking, Gary is like, I can hear you. Yeah, I can too. I can hear him too, Gary, child. They want you to know. But anyway, so while they over there talking, then the phone rings again. It's Hudson. Child. Yeah, we gonna get there. All right, so back over at Zach's place, he was calling Fatima, and Fatima informs him that, Karen is coming up to the law office because they have something to discuss. Automatically, Zach thinks that they're going to be talking about him because if it's not about him, then there is no reason they should be talking. And everything doesn't revolve around you, Zach. This is actual business. And Pam is going to be there as well. Oh, okay. So Pam's going to be there. It's good. Okay, cool. Or whatever. Then they get into Hayden. And that is when Zach tells Fatima, yeah, when he was being a PI, when he was being a private investigator, chasing Hayden, or following Hayden around, he found out information that his girlfriend Tamaria was sleeping with his friend, i.e. Gary. And Fatima was like, I knew it. I knew something was going on. And also, Hayden has footage of it. And now they have to figure out how to get the footage so they can send that footage to the FBI. And that way Hayden can go to the top of the list. And they can clear them and it can clear Andy. And then Zach has this bright idea. Instead of him doing real estate, he wants to be a PI. I said, you do? Because you were not that discreet. I saw you, Zach. I saw you looking around the corner at Hayden and his friend. So you're going to have to be more discreet than that, or they going to find you every time. Yeah, I always feel like somebody watching me is Zach. But anyway, I ain't got no privacy. But anyway, so Fatima was like, boy, you can't be no PI because you have a criminal record. And he was like, oh man, they always trying to hold a black man down. I was like, well, Zach, you did that yourself. That's all I'm saying. But hey, if Trump can be the president with a felony, you can too. All right. So back at Andy's place, here is Hudson. Hudson is trying to get Gary to go back to the hospital. And Gary, like, I'm not going nowhere with you. Like, Hudson is almost like the scary man to Gary. Gary, like, no, I'm not going with you. I don't even know you. And I said, dang, Hudson, did you stab him? That's crazy. That dude was scared. He had me scared. Like, don't. And here, I'm over here looking at the TV like, Gary, don't go with him because he might try to stab you in the elevator. Don't go with him, Gary. But you know what? Hey, everybody is saying like, okay, Gary, I think that's a good idea, because as Hudson like to tell everybody, he's power of attorney. And he's telling Gary, like, Gary, you got stabbed and you could get an infection. You're not all the way healed, and Andy is just like, look, Gary, please let Hudson take you back to the hospital. And once me and Robin finish up, our case, then I'm going to be right there. I'm going to come right there to be by your side. And Gary's like, you're going to be right there? Promise you're going to be there? Yes, I promise I'm going to be there. Hudson, be careful with him. Yes, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be right there with you. And he's like, okay. Yeah. And Hudson like, you did a good thing, Andy. Anyway, he didn't say it like that, but he was appreciative of Andy, telling Gary to go back down there to that hospital. So they end up leaving. Child Robin looking at Andy like, you look like you still want him. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We'll get there later. So, speaking of discreet, these people are not. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, how y'all gonna get mad at boy Karen because he telling it like it is? I mean, for real. Like, how we mad at boy Karen? I mean, I understand. And I'm with Karen. Excuse me. And I'm with Danny. Privilege. You need black privilege. You need to be the leader of something. You need to go from the guttermost to the uttermost. You need to be the borrower. You need to be the lender and not the borrower. We want you on top. However you get there. But don't get mad because somebody call you on how you got there. Don't get mad because somebody call you out on how you got there. That's all I'm saying. I want you to be the HBIC, but don't get mad when somebody called you out on how you got there. It is what it is. And then the thing about it is too, they all up on each other. And if you don't want nobody to, Danny and Tony, if you don't want nobody to talk about y'all, then keep it to yourself. Point blank period. That's all I have to say. If you don't want nobody to bring up what y'all doing in the office, keep it to yourself. Because y'all can't keep your hands off of each other. You can't. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right, so now back over there at the law office, Fatima looking over all the paperwork, and she said everything pretty much is ironclad. It looks good. It's straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? She don't see any discrepancies. She thinks Miss Marie Willis is going to be happy with everything. So while they getting good news, mind you, they've been getting good news about this business plan the whole time from Sabrina, now from Fatina, and then Hayden comes in. Oh, Hayden. Look, Hayden. Oh, hating Hayden. Like, he's like a big bobblehead hater. And he comes in dogging them out, calling them ratchet and ghetto, and you know what I'm saying, calling the name all kind of ratchet, wrong to riches and wrong to ratchet, just all kind of names. And he's just saying, like, he's going to tell Miss Marie that she is too good to be getting in down there in the gutter with Pam and Karen. And he's going to advise Mrs. Marie Willis not to do business with them. Now he can advise Miss Marie Willis not to do business with them, but Miss Marie Willis can still decide whether or not if she wants to do it. You know, she can decide herself. She doesn't need his permission. She just wants to know if this is something legitimate, and if, well, she knows it's legitimate. She just want to make sure that the business plan is legitimate and everything is good, which it is. But because Hayden, for some reason, think he is the upper echelon of Black people, he feels that he can look down on other Black people, especially Black women, because Hayden really don't like women like that. For him to sit there and call them all kind of whores and low rent and low, you know what I'm saying? He don't really like women like that. And that's true T. And a lot of people always look at it like white men and banks and white men as in high position, like they put Black women down. But sometimes it's your own people. It's your own people putting you down, and it's your own people don't want you to rise up. And that's why I'm glad that Fatima did stick up for them, and she told Hayden, I need to see you outside. Like, you being real disrespectful right now. And Mr. what's his name? Morris, Mr. whoever his last name is, can we please go talk outside? And then that's what they do. All right. So back over with Sabrina and Rich. Child, he bring her a basketball as a gift, just because she played basketball back in high school. And then they end up talking about, the IVF thing, and has he gotten his results yet? And Sabrina seems wary because they bring up in Alabama, she's pretty much happy she has the opportunity to do the IVF, because we all know that they're trying to put in the laws to no longer have women do IVF. And it's funny because they have the abortion laws, meaning you get pregnant, you can't terminate your baby. But now they're trying to get rid of IVF, meaning the people that want to get pregnant, they're trying to, and the people that want to get pregnant and the people that have fertility issues that want to be pregnant, they cannot go about using IVF. I'm like, what kind of mess with that? What kind of mess is that? First, you want to stop a person from giving birth, and now you want to stop a person from giving birth. It's crazy, right? It's like you want to make it as hard as possible for a person to give birth. And I mean, am I making sense? It's like you don't want them to, okay, it's like if I get pregnant, I can't get an abortion. So you want to control a woman's body in that capacity, telling them that it's not your choice, right? To get rid of your baby, regardless of whatever the circumstances are. So you want to stop the woman from having an abortion so they can give birth, but then you want to make it hard for a woman that's really trying to keep their pregnancies and that's really trying to get pregnant. You want to make it hard for them, so it makes it harder for them to conceive. So it's like you're trying to control every aspect of a woman's fertility, which is crazy to me. You want the woman to keep the baby, but you want to make it hard for the woman to keep the baby. But then when they don't want to keep the baby, you want to make it hard for them to. Anyway, I hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say. And then he said, that's why we need to vote. I was like, y'all should have did this episode last month sometime, because, child, he president now, so it is what it is. But anyway, they're going to go play basketball. All right, so Fatima has a conversation with Hayden outside and just like, look, apparently you don't even know who Miss Marie Willis is. Miss Marie Willis sees herself in Pam and Karen. Miss Marie Willis is from the projects. Miss Marie Willis, all of her songs are pretty much about her surviving, scratching and surviving good times out of that whole projects. And Fatima does convince him, like, don't do that, because you're going to make Miss Marie Willis real mad. And pretty much she convinces him. And then in return, he's just like, look, I don't want nothing to do with them low rent women in there. So you can take on this case. You can be their advisors. You can be their advisors when it comes to them. And, that's pretty much what that was. So she goes back in And it's like Karen always gives up. She does. She gives up before she can win. If she gets any sign of negativity, she just want to throw her hands up. And Miss Marie Willis told her, girl, don't give up before you even start. Come on, Karen, get right about yourself. But Fatima does come in and give them the good news, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I convinced Hayden to let up off of you all, and he's going to advise Miss Marie Willis to continue on with your business plan. And also Fatima tells them that she's going to be the one that's going to be like the overseer of their business plan in their case when it comes to Rooster Ridges. And they pretty much are happy about that, and Fatima and Karen have a heart-to-heart, a grown woman conversation. And Karen is pretty much like, thank you so much. I would rather for it to be you, because they're starting to get to a point to where it's not about, Zach. It's not about envy. It's not about jealousy. It's just about a woman helping another woman, and a woman seeing another woman for who they really are, and that they're trying to get into a really, really good place. Shoot, they family at this point, so they might as well family have family. And the more money that Karen get, the less money they need that she can take out of their pockets. Shoot, so this is helping everybody at the end of the day. And they shake hands, and they see each other as Karen and Fatima, not as Zach's baby mama and not as Zach's fiance, so they see each other as women, which is good. All right, so now back over at Andy's place, Robin jealous. That's all. Robin is just jealous because he's sitting up here talking about the way you were looking at him and the way that you were helping Gary makes me feel like, you still have something there. And I mean, granted, it's okay. She's been with Gary for a long time, so I know she's going to have some type of feeling there. I mean, it's not all, diminished. It's something there. I mean, she cares enough. But does she want to get back with Gary? No, she want to really be clear from Gary. But Robin, he's being a man. That's all. And but I was actually proud of Andy in this moment because she brought to the attention, why you so, I ain't slept on Gary. I understand what I'm doing with Gary. I know what I'm doing with him. And also with you. What about you? You sitting over here talking about Gary. What about you? You over here down at that law office, giving my caseload to Hayden. And Robin is just like, well, did you, what he said? I didn't forget what Robin and Gary did to me. So really pretty much he's trying to tell Andy, like, I know exactly what I'm doing, because Andy think that it's about power. But no, Robin is really trying to set Hayden up, overload him with the workload so he can end up burying himself. He can end up getting himself fired. That's what Robin is trying to do. But Andy is just like, I know what you're doing. Like, you down there giving him my cases and all this other stuff. Like, you got me messed up. And Andy said, and I will be back at work. Period. I'm not really taking your counsel on that part of my life. I'm going back to work because she need to get some work done. She need to have her presence shown down there at the law office. And I'm good with that. I'm glad you stuck up for yourself in that moment, Andy. So that's pretty much it. Yeah. But y'all, this is Sheila Bila. I didn't think that this was going to be that long, but it was. So like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what y'all think about this episode. Do y'all still think that Gary faking? Yeah, this is starting to wind down. So, yep, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what y'all think. Bye.